On today's episode of Bet Bath & Beyond, Andy and Ian discuss the Sunday recap. We preview the Monday night games. Newsflash, the fucking Steelers blow it. And we look forward to the Thursday matchup. You're not going to want to miss it.
3, 2, 1, go. I am Ian Peacock.
And I am Andy Heidemann. And I hate sports betting. No matter what you say, I'm betting 100 on it tonight.
Welcome to Bet Bath & Beyond.
Brought to you by B3T Sports.
.com morning edition, Andrew.
It is the morning, and I'm very fucking tired. Although...
Yeah,
What's
although...
that?
No,
well,
go ahead.
although... I shouldn't be, because the game wrapped up fairly early last night. At least I felt it did.
Yeah, no, I think it did too. I'll be completely honest with you. I was half paying attention and was on my phone reading a Reddit no sleep story. So,
Oh, yeah? I thought it was a good game last night.
Yeah, it was.
I thought the Broncos put up one fucking hell of a fight against the Chiefs.
Yeah, their defense played pretty well, right?
They played great. Would they hold them to 22 points?
Yeah, I was on Reddit last night. The game was on, but yeah, Reddit.
AJ Boye played very well.
Not that you're asking, but the no sleep story is about a man who lives in the basement, and he starts in the corner. He starts in the farthest back corner of the basement, and the man who just bought the house, it comes with a list of rules, and the man in the basement takes one step closer to the stairs every week. And the note has like all these fucking rules on, like almost like fucking Gremlins, like don't feed it after midnight. Blah,
Don't get
blah,
it
blah.
wet.
Yeah, exactly. Don't go near it. Don't, blah, blah, blah. And so basically this guy's dealing with this man in the basement who is gradually getting closer and closer to the upstairs. And the note's like, do not let him get to your bedroom. Do not.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, so I was hooked. So I was reading that. And I actually had a nightmare last night, so...
So you're like, I'll never read again. Reading is bad.
No, I kind of liked it, so I'm going to continue reading it. There's like 12... No, I don't want to talk about football. I really just want to continue talking about no sleep on Reddit.
Well, I was going to say if you want to talk about nightmares, we can talk about the Browns.
Why? Why are the Browns nightmares?
They're going to be nightmares for the NFL. I really think.
Okay, Andrew, okay. Look, the Browns are having one of their best seasons of all time this year, and it could even get better. They have guaranteed, by getting 9 wins, they've guaranteed themselves a winning season. So congrats to the Browns. Their schedule, I think, is going to get harder because they have to play the Steelers again. They're going to have to play the Ravens again. But, yeah. I mean, and I'm in that foreseeable future, I have them losing those games, mostly because I need them to lose those games. So yeah,
I mean, I definitely could really see. I mean, they've already lost once to the Ravens. They'll do it again. I think in the last 3 games they've played with the Ravens, they're 2-1 or 1-2. I mean, they've won the one, but they've lost the other 2. The one they won was week 4.
Yeah, no, exactly. I remember. No. You don't need to remind me about week 4 of 2019.
Exactly. But I don't know. The Browns, their numbers have kind of been, they've been a little inflated on the ground because of the horrible weather they've been playing in. They've had great numbers on the ground, but again, I don't know if that's necessarily who they want to be completely. Baker did ball yesterday.
Yeah, he balled for sure. 4 touchdown passes.
That's what I've been wanting to see from him, because until he does that, I mean, 334 yards, 25 completions. Every fucking week that I look at the Browns stat line, I swear to God, Jarvis throws a pass.
I know. Which, having him on fantasy, and I actually started him this week after his monster week last week, I'm glad that he's actually coming around because he scored another touchdown this week. I think he had around 20 points. I mean, back-to-back touchdown weeks when he hasn't had a touchdown all season. That's great to see. Right in time for playoffs.
People talk about this. This is an interesting point. I'm curious about your take, but they're saying that they're better without Odell.
I think
they are. I think they are too, but I want to hear like why you think that is, because I have my opinion on why that is.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that too when we were just talking. I think that is the reason, because Odell's a ball hog. Or it's not that he's a ball hog, but he wants the ball on every play because he's Odell. And I feel like Baker is trying to please him and forces a lot of passes his way, and it just doesn't work. So I think when you have a superstar that is constantly wants the ball, and you have a quarterback like Baker who I think wants to give Odell the ball, I don't think there's any reluctance there, and he's going to try forcing passes when there are other better options down the field or elsewhere. I think that is why they are worst with Odell. Worse with Odell, better with him gone.
No, you said my thoughts as well. I think that anytime that a younger quarterback has a star wide receiver, because Odell is a star. I mean, like when Odell has been given the opportunity, he's usually produced. You take these guys who are like, hey, I'm really good, give me the ball. That puts a lot of pressure on some of these guys to maybe not hit their reads all the time. So the fact that now Baker can get the snap, make his reads, and throw the best ball that he wants to, I think that that's better for them in the long run.
Now, I just now realized that we're talking about the Browns-Titans game because that's the first game on our list. So I understand why you brought them up just now. So going to that game, talking specifically about that game, the Titans actually almost came back. If the score was, they did. I was watching this game because I had a lot of fantasy players on it, and the Browns did a very good job just jump starting to a very big lead. I can't remember what it was at halftime. I want to say it was like 38 to something, or maybe the Browns definitely had 30 something points, right?
I think it was 38 to 14. Here, I could tell you.
Okay, check, because they just jumped out to a huge lead.
At halftime, it was 38 to 7.
Yes. Okay. Exactly. So, I mean, my point kind of stands. They scored 3 points in the second half, and the Titans scored 28. So
the Browns do not have the world's best defense. They have an okay defense. They've got some guys. They have a really great front four. Like Myles Garrett is phenomenal. But this is why when you said I don't know if Vrabel is a good coach. Vrabel is a great defensive mind. Look at that adjustment at halftime.
Hold on. You can't say something that I said off air, and then
you never said off the record,
and then bring it in air so subtly. You can say, well, remember when we were talking off air? Give the people a little context.
Do you remember when you were dragging Mike Vrabel's name through the mud off air, and then I said, I don't know about that.
Okay, yes, I did mention Mike Vrabel's coaching. I don't know. I think the Titans are frauds. I do think they're frauds. Now, they beat the Ravens, so what does that say about the Ravens? I think the Ravens aren't even in fraud territory right now. I think the Ravens are just fighting for a playoff spot. When people call teams frauds, that means that they're good, right? Because, or at least like pretending to be good. Like you have to at least do stuff for people to be like, oh, they're a very good team.
Right. Like no one's going to call the Bengals frauds, even if they win a game. Like you're not going to go, oh, they're frauds.
Right, exactly. And the Bears were frauds. You know, like they were 5-1 at the beginning of the season. They're now 5-7, which
Dude,
now they're not.
I cannot believe they lost that game.
We'll get to that game, but
there's so many good games this week. So many.
Oh, there were a lot of great games this week, and we're gonna go through all of them. But real quick, just frauds. Wrapping this up. Now that they're 5-7 and not even looking like they're gonna make the playoffs, they're no longer frauds, right?
Frauds, there's a bad team.
Frauds have to at least make the playoffs, and they have to at least, be in the conversation of making the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's why they're frauds.
When you say not. That's exactly what it is. When we say frauds, it's like they are people. When people go, they're a contender for the Super Bowl, and you're like, that's wrong, because there are good teams out there who are not going to win the Super Bowl.
Right. The Titans being one of them, and what I'm saying about the Ravens is they used to be in that category where,
like 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, the Ravens are Super Bowl, contenders. They've been in the Vegas books as one of the top favorites along with the Chiefs. We're not even there yet. We just have to win out and hope we make a wild card spot. That's not fraud territory. That's let's get our fucking shit together.
That's in a good place. Territory.
You're in a good place if you're being called frauds.
Anyway, yeah, you were right. The score was 41-35. The Titans did score 14 points in both the third and the fourth quarter, while the Browns only scored 3. Again, not that big of a deal, especially knowing that you have such a huge lead. It was getting dicey, but I think that final score to make it 35 was toward the very end of the fourth quarter anyway. So,
sure. Just to let
good
the
job
people,
for the Browns.
Good job for the Browns. They win 41-35. Tennessee were -5.5 spread favorites.
I think I took the Browns.
I think
I took the Browns.
I can't remember, but I think I took the Browns too because I think I always knew the Titans were frauds. So I hope I took the Browns in last episode.
You hate the Browns. I bet you didn't.
I don't know, dude. Like, I hate the Browns because I'm so sick of people like being like, it's their time, blah, blah, blah.
It is their time.
No, it's not. They're going to make the playoffs. They're having one of their best seasons of all time in their, franchise history when they have been historically so bad. So this is a great, turning point. This is a great stepping stone, right? They will lose in the first round of the playoffs. I have no doubt in my mind about that. But again, I don't want to take that away. The Browns are having a great season so far. So, it's just some rivalry. AFC North rivalry. Get off me.
Sure.
Get off me, dude. Get off me. Browns win 35. Browns win 41-35. Shut up. Raiders.
Let's talk about one of the best games. Yeah, Raiders-Jets. This game was phenomenal.
I watched all of this game as well. Darren Waller had a fucking monster game. Monster, dude. 45 fantasy points, 2 touchdowns. The dude was a
They threw him 17 times.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
13 catches, 200 yards.
I love watching that man play football.
Man, and here's just a testament to how good Josh Jacobs actually is. I mean, they had Devontae Booker in there. They gave him the ball 16 times, only 50 yards.
Yeah, that sucked for me because with Josh Jacobs out, I picked up Booker.
That was a smart play.
Yeah, but didn't really do me that well. Didn't do great, But that's fine because I also had Darren Waller and he scored 45 points. So
yeah, exactly.
Now the big takeaway from this game was the Jets had it in the bag. The Jets had it in the bag, and they were up 28 to, let's do quick maths, 24. 28-24. Okay?
Mm-hmm. And they gave the ball back and punted it.
Right.
Which, they had to because they couldn't get a fucking first down.
Right, and they had to hold the Raiders. And what did they do? They did some bullshit defense. The people are blaming the defensive coordinator. I guess this was this play call, not Adam Gase. Very smart for Adam Gase to protect himself. But they pull what were they doing? They were playing hard coverage, and the safety comes up or the cornerback comes up, and Ruggs just gets behind him so easily, man, easily.
There's only 10 seconds left at this point in the game, right? So they have to score because there's no way they're gonna throw a deep ball and get on the ball and be able to spike it in time. They had no timeouts. So all you have to do is keep them out of the end zone. Just play prevent fucking defense and put 2 safeties in the end zone and make sure nothing gets behind them. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, instead they played one-on-one with deep ball threat Mr. Henry Ruggs.
Running a fucking 4-2 40.
Right, and he easily gets behind the defender. I think the defender's name was Lamar Jackson, which I thought was funny.
It is, actually.
Yeah, so anyway, gets behind Jackson, scores a 40-something yard touchdown from,
It was a great ball by Carr, too. Carr played a pretty good game.
Yes. Look, I'm not trying to take away from the Raiders. This was the Jets' game to win and probably their last chance to remain, or basically the Jets' last chance to win a game before they go 0-16. I think 2 things. One, they're as incompetent as everyone thinks they are. Or 2, the coach, this would be, because usually when you say a team is tanking, That means that the front office, the GM, the people making like the big, long-term decisions, they're tanking, and what they're doing is they're putting their worst product on the field for the coaches to play with, right?
Yeah, and that very, very, very rarely will come down to the coaching and the player level, obviously, because these guys want to win. Now, here's what I will say: Adam Gase is the type of guy who strikes me as a guy with no integrity whatsoever. So if they came down and said, "We will keep you for next year, but you got to tank," he would sign his fucking contract in blood. He'd be like, "Yeah, keep me." Absolutely. I don't care what this does to the NFL as a product or to my team or to me personally. But as long as you're paying me money.
Yep, I believe that. And that's my main point. That's my main point, is that tanking has no longer just been contained in the front office. It is now spread to the coaching staff. I genuinely believe the Jets were looking to lose this game from a coaching perspective.
And I have to wonder, if you're going to grab Trevor Lawrence, you have to be wondering why he hasn't tried to develop Darnold all that well. And I think it's just because he doesn't give a fuck anymore. Like, we're going to get rid of you. It doesn't matter. Season's almost over.
Yeah. I agree. Make way for Trevor.
Yeah, and Darnold threw a pick, but, he threw 2 touchdowns, but, he didn't.
James Crowder. James Crowder. Who had James Crowder in their fantasy?
Receiver.
Who had James Crowder? Raise your hand.
I did. In one of my leagues.
No, I didn't.
James Crowder's actually in fantasy. He's at least a little. He's stable.
Sure. I'll take your word for it. I don't want to talk about this game anymore.
Raiders win 31-28.
The Raiders. I'm gonna do this because so people can know who won against the spread. The Raiders were minus 8.5 point favorites. Mm-hmm. So Jets covered.
Yep. Okay, we got Jags, Vikings. This went into overtime. Shouldn't have gone into overtime, but it did.
Dan Bailey missed a kick.
Yep.
Right? Is that what happened?
Yes. He did.
I didn't really watch this game. I did see the overtime, and I saw the Vikings win. Okay, here's something I don't understand. I know that your kicker just missed. What was Dan Bailey's missed field goal? Do you know how far away it was?
I could tell you.
Because here's what I don't understand.
It was 42 yards.
Okay, so not a chip shot. When you get inside that chip shot zone, I don't care if it's in first down. Just fucking kick it. Just kick the goddamn ball through the uprights. I was hoping, I really was, because the Vikings went as far as they could without scoring a touchdown on their winning drive in overtime with Dalvin Cook. I was hoping that somehow, some way, it was going to be a misplaced snap, a bad handoff, a fumble from Cook. I wish that would have happened, because once you're inside the 20-yard line, kick a goddamn field goal. If you don't think your kicker can kick a field goal within the 20-yard line, aka the red zone, if you don't think you have a kicker that can kick a 30-yard fucking field goal, don't have him on the team. And I know people say, "Oh, but kickers are hard to get. It's hard to find a good kicker." It's not hard to find a kicker that can kick a 30-yarder consistently. It really
shouldn't
isn't.
be.
I don't believe that. I don't believe it's hard to find. Just kick the fucking field goal.
So I didn't watch this game either, but I'm looking at the play-by-play, and this is kind of interesting, right? So there's a missed field goal by the Vikings, and they started on their own 25-yard line. It took them 8 plays, and then. Oh, wait a second. So when I say a 42-yard field goal, maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe that's how long that's how far they went in 8 plays. Hold on. Field goal no good. It was a 51-yard field goal attempt. So it's even longer. So he missed a 51-yarder. And then it looks like the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay. The Jacksonville Jaguars had an attempt at one with 1 second left, and he tried a 62-yard field goal, and he was just short. Okay.
So obviously, probably never going to make that 62-yarder, especially if you're some Jags kicker that I've never. Who's the Jags kicker? Some no name?
Fucking McLaughlin.
Yeah, I've never heard of him. So he's probably some, scrub.
Plus, you've got Mike. If you had Gardner Minshew out there, I think you could probably try Hail Mary, right?
Maybe. Gardner Minshew's. What, is he known for Hail Marys? I don't know.
No, I'm just saying Mike Glennon's not going to fucking get it. So
I don't think that Gardner Minshew is going to get it either.
I mean, I haven't seen Gardner Minshew play football in like 5 weeks because they won't start him.
Is he officially benched or is he hurt?
He's officially benched. I'm almost certain because I mean, there was an article the other day that they said Mike Glennon's the guy moving forward, which I don't get because
tanking.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Mike Glennon threw for 280 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know.
Kick the fucking field goal. Just don't try to get it to the 1 yard line. And I mean, honestly, if you look at percentages, there's probably, I don't know. I would assume the percentage.
Well, it's also about giving your opponent time, right? Like if you get there on a first down and you kick a field goal, yeah, you're going to be up in points. But if you give the other team,
no. I'm talking about if you kick the field goal, you win the game in overtime.
Oh yeah, in overtime, sure.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. The last drive in overtime, where the Vikings literally marched it to the 1 yard line without scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, but I would say if you've got a guy with good ball security, I would say just run the ball the whole time. Like, you know, it's like then if you hit 4th down, then kick it because then you're running time off the clock. Because if you do miss that field goal, you're going to turn it over and you're just giving them more time, like another chance.
True, but what I'm saying is, Andrew, I feel like you're not listening to my argument.
I'm listening to it. I just disagree with you.
No. Once you're inside the 20-yard line, once you're in the red zone, it's a chip shot. It's a chip shot.
Yeah, of course, it's a chip shot. So but what down is it? It's first?
Yeah, kick it because the game's over.
How much time is on the clock?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter because if you miss it, you say that, but people miss those. And whether or not that is acceptable is not the conversation. It's do they miss those? And they do miss those. So run the ball until it's 4th down or you score because you're not giving yourself any options then.
I think, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but basically, if you want to boil down my argument, I'm saying the probability of an NFL kicker missing a chip shot inside the red zone, the probability of him making it, and the probability of you winning the game is greater than continuing to hand the ball off, where you could have a missed snap, you could have a fumble. What I'm saying is the probability of just winning the game off of a chip shot field goal is greater than continuing to run the ball. I mean, I think they probably continued to run 5 or 6, maybe 7 unnecessary run plays when they were inside the red zone. What I'm saying is the probability of winning the game is better if you kick the field goal.
I'm looking this up.
Oh my God. That's going to take like a long time. Like,
no,
then you'd have to look how many times has Dalvin Cook fumbled the ball? How many times has there been a bad snap? How many times there's been a bad handoff by
field goal percentage,
Kirk Cousins?
0 to 19.
Oh my God.
God, they don't. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look that up, and I'll prove you wrong probably on off the air on Twitter or something.
Oh, okay. Follow us on Bet Bath and Beyond, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook if you want to. We don't really update Facebook.
Some things make their way to Facebook.
No, because for some reason our Instagram has gotten disconnected from our Facebook. We do not.
So we don't update our Facebook, but you know it's there. Vikings end up winning in overtime, 27-24.
Vikings were 10-point favorites.
Dolphins, Bengals,
underdogs are covering. So far,
the Bengals are bad.
Yes, they are, but they're without Joe Burrow. But
yeah, but they're just.
I'll tell you the main takeaway from this game was that 5 fucking NFL players were ejected.
Yeah,
you know, so Tyler Boyd being one of them. Bullshit. I watched almost the entire game. I watched both scuffles. That first scuffle with Boyd and Howard was just ridiculous. I mean, they both were just pushing each other in the helmet, and the refs were like, yep, that's a punch. Yep, that's a punch. You get out of here. It was the softest fucking call of all time.
No tolerance, baby.
So dumb. Tyler Boyd had a great 70-yard touchdown, which was good for my fantasy. However, that was his only reception, and then he got thrown out. So then he was done for the day.
The Bengals looked awful. They had Brandon Allen in there. He completed 11 passes. He threw a pick. He did throw a touchdown, but that was to Boyd, right?
Yep.
So, 80 of his 153 yards came from Tyler Boyd.
Yeah. And it was mostly Boyd running. Like, he threw the ball to Boyd, and then he ran the entire way.
And then did Brandon Allen get hurt, or did they bench him for Ryan Finley?
He got hurt.
Okay, so then Ryan Finley came in 6 for 7, 40 yards, and an interception. Like, Giovanni Bernard didn't run for shit, 30 yards.
Nope.
I don't know. T. Higgins had another solid rookie day. I mean, 5 receptions, 56 yards. I mean, he's gonna be. I think next year he might be QB proof, like, if he develops in the correct way.
Scary Terry. We call that the Scary Terry.
This is the QB proof.
QB proof.
Tua again had an impressive, only 1 touchdown, but he threw for almost 300 yards, 4 shy. I mean, 26 completions. Tua is getting better, I think, every week.
Yeah.
Miles Gaskin finally came back, 90 yards, no touchdown, but 90 yards. He averaged over 4 yards a carry.
The Dolphins were 10.5-point favorites. They covered, but that was close.
And they're 8-4.
They are 8-4. They're looking good. I don't know who they play for the rest of their schedule, but
I think they have to play the Pats one more time.
I mean, I could see them beating the Pats. We'll get to the Pats. Beating the Pats. Jesus Christ.
But anyway, Dolphins win it 19-7. Bengals are an abysmal 2-9-1. Thank God they got that tie. Okay.
No, this isn't the NFC North.
Well,
or NFC East, I mean.
Giants are going to start taking a lead, baby.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so let's talk about the Colts-Texans. Holy shit, was this a game?
I didn't watch it.
I watched every snap of this fucking game, all right? And it started off back and forth, very back and forth. Like, it was Colts had the lead, Texans tied it up. Texans take the lead. The Colts take the lead. Colts start pulling ahead. Titans start for the comeback.
Oh,
and then you get to and then you hit halftime where it's 24-20. It's very close. Scoreless third quarter. Defensive battle in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, only 2 points were scored by Indianapolis with a safety.
Wow, we got a safety game.
Yes, and then Houston. Okay, so what happens is, let me tell you here, toward the very end of the game, all right, it's the fourth quarter, the Colts go 63 yards on 10 plays, and they get down to, where were they? They were on the other team's 43-yard line.
Okay.
And nope, take that back. They were on.
This is a great recap, Andrew.
They were on the Houston
you're doing a
5.
great job.
I'm sorry. They put a block in here. They were on the Houston 5, right? And they could have kicked the field goal to go up 9 points.
9 points?
9 instead of 6. They're up 6 right now. They could have kicked the field goal to go up 9 points. It's 4th and 1. They go for it, and they get stuffed. So they turn the ball over on the Houston 6, right?
Okay.
Thank God that. Oh my God! Thank God that they got the safety. Because they were going to give the fucking ball back to the Texans. The Texans end up going down the field.
Wait, why is it so important that they got the safety?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry, I'm going out of order here.
Andrew, just get to the final fucking drive.
Okay, the final drive. All the Texans need to do is score a touchdown and then get the field goal, because then they'll win the game by a point. They are down 6 points, and they are driving. They are driving. Like, they go 8 plays. They go 73 yards in 8 plays, and it does not look like the Titans, or I keep doing that, the Colts can stop them at all. And then they have a fucking horrible snap on the 2-yard line. They are right there, and Deshaun Watson fumbles it. Colts get on it. They kneel out the clock. But the Colts end up winning it. They shouldn't have won this game. Although, I think if they'd have kicked that field goal instead of going for it on the Texans side of the field and getting stuffed, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But right. Their coach saved his ass from the presser, because, again, if you lose that game after getting stuffed there, this was a very exciting game to watch. And Jonathan Taylor, he played a great game. They just have to give him the ball more.
What I don't understand about that decision by the Colts is that a field goal still gives you a 2 score lead, right? So I don't understand what
I didn't get it either. I was very, because honestly during the decision, Phillip Rivers was leaving the field, and their coach was like, "No, stay on the field."
You're either up by 13 or you're up by 9. It makes no sense.
Exactly. So I didn't like it. A lot of people didn't like it. They won the game anyway at 26-20. Deshaun Watson did not throw a touchdown the whole game, but he still threw for 340 yards. He did throw a pick. He rushed for a touchdown, but
Colts were minus 3.5 point favorites, so they covered. So 26-20, Colts. This next game is going to be... Oh, wait, you want to keep talking about Colts, Texans?
No. I'm going to go... I was going to say, you could talk about this game, because I didn't watch this game. I did see the final 2 minutes of it, though.
I watched this game, and it was a treat. It was a treat. This is the Lions versus the Bears. The Lions and Tigers and Bears, and oh my, Mitch Trubisky... Actually, sorry. I'm gonna say that again. Lions, Tigers, Bears. Oh my, Matt Nagy needs to get the fuck out of Chicago.
Yeah. So because if he doesn't, he's gonna get the shit beat out of him.
Listen, okay. This was a back and forth game. Actually, no, it wasn't a back and forth game. I don't know why I just said that. The Bears were up by 10, and the Lions, and it looked like the Lions were done. Right? They score a touchdown, so it's within 3 points, and then the up by 3, the Bears have the ball, and they're marching down the field, and oh boy, oh no, Mitch Trubisky is stripped on the Lions. In the Lions red zone, and the Lions get the ball back in the red zone with, I want to say, less than 2 minutes. There was like no time left on the clock. There was maybe a minute left. And, oh my God. And just classic Bears. So the Lions score a touchdown, and so they go up.
Peterson.
Right. They go up by 4 points. Okay, so it's 34-30. And now the Bears are like, fuck, like, we had a 10-point lead. We gave it away. We're down by 4. We need a touchdown. And so on the final drive of the game, they actually start marching the ball. I'm like, holy shit, they could actually score a touchdown, because I want to say with less than a minute left, they march all the way down the field and are very close to the red zone, the Lions red zone. Okay? Allen Robinson, your boy, on third down, catches a pass, and for whatever reason, I don't know if he just didn't have awareness of the field. I don't know if he was high or drunk, or maybe he just didn't want to win the game. Your boy steps out of bounds on purpose. It wasn't like he stumbled out of bounds. He turned and ran out of bounds short of the first down. I think that he was so concerned getting out of bounds to stop the clock that he didn't realize it was third down and they needed a first down, because the very next play was going to be fourth down if he didn't. So your boy catches, had plenty of room to make the first down, runs out of bounds to stop the clock. Unfortunately, that brings up a 4th and 1. So the Bears now have to convert this 4th and 1, or they lose the game. So what does your genius head coach Matt Nagy do? Runs the ball straight at the middle with Montgomery, who gets fucking stuffed. Game over. Couldn't convert the 4th down. They were pretty close. I want to say they were within the 30-yard line on the Lions side of the field with, maybe 20 to 30 seconds left. So it was definitely possible that they could have gotten a few more yards and then took a shot at the end zone. Unfortunately, they lose in the most bare way possible by not being able to convert 4th down when they easily could have if Allen Robinson didn't step out of bounds.
See, and this is the stat line that I thought I would see for Matthew. This is the stat line for Matthew Stafford that I was expecting to see most of the year. 27 completions, 402 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like that.
You owe me $50. You owe me $50, Andrew.
Not yet. Not yet. I don't.
Technically, no. You won't owe it to me until the season's over, but you owe me $50.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
But anyway, that would have been. Would you have been scared if you started like 3 games like this?
Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not scared of Stafford. No, I'm not scared of Stafford at all.
The Lions end up winning it though, 34-30. They're both 5-7 teams now. Bears are gonna miss the playoffs.
Oh, for sure they are because they're terrible. They're terrible. I don't understand how Matt Nagy has a job. They've lost 6 straight games. 6 straight games. And these aren't hard games. These aren't hard games. Like these are games you should have won.
Now here's what I will say. The Bears' problem all year has been that they can't score points. Their defense always does really well. They scored 30 points. I mean, against a bad team, but 30 points, good for them. They score points when Mitch is out there, apparently.
I guess. I mean,
so
the strip
their
sack
defense kind of fucked. Yeah, but their defense kind of, I mean, like a defense that is so good. I mean, they allowed 400 passing yards and 34 points to be scored on them. I know it's hard when you're going to get a fumble on like the 5, but I'm just saying, like, typically that's not what we see from their defense.
Yeah, no, you're right. The Bears were 3-point favorites, so they don't cover.
Saints play the Falcons, who I thought Matt Ryan looked really bad.
Taysom Hill looked good. Taysom Hill actually looked like a quarterback and not
he threw 2 touchdowns.
Threw 2 touchdowns, ran when he needed to.
He ran for 83 yards.
I know, but he looked good. Like he was throwing some pretty good balls. I guess he's the guy. When Drew Brees ultimately leaves the Saints, it's going to be Taysom Hill's team, which is crazy to think about.
It is crazy, but it is good for them because if they rolled out Jameis and he looked like old Jameis, but he was throwing touchdowns and they were winning games even if he was throwing 4 picks, they were going to have to make a tough decision on what they wanted to do.
Right. But here's the thing about that is that that's not sustainable. You can't throw as many picks as Jameis does. I mean, 30 for 30 last year. 30 fucking interceptions. You can't throw that many interceptions and expect to win games. And yeah, maybe you can get away with it for a little bit.
Even if you cut them in half, I mean, 15 interceptions a season, like that's not something you want either. You know, it's just not. You know what I mean? It's so bad. It's like we're normalizing this, but
is Julio Jones hurt?
He has a hamstring issue. He was playing. He was playing through it, but I mean, for the guy who plays through injury all the time, I mean, almost 100 yards. I mean, he went to him too in the end zone for the very final play, and he like was outstretched for that one-handed catch. I mean,
yeah,
that's a tough catch to make. But
I mean, the Falcons had. I mean, they weren't out of this game. They had the ball with time expiring. They had a last-minute drive. They just couldn't find the end zone.
Matt Ryan didn't even have 20 completions this game. I mean, they got to rebuild. Like I think they're 4-8. They're not going to get the world's best draft pick. I mean, especially if they win one more game. If they end up going like 5-11, they won't get the best draft pick, but they might try for a quarterback.
Ooh,
juicy. The Saints win at 21-16. That was kind of a boring game. Michael Thomas, I mean, he had a solid 100-yard game, but
Saints were minus 3-point favorites, so they covered.
New York, Seattle.
Is this our first late afternoon game we're talking about?
It is. I don't know. I think so.
It is. I shouldn't have waited for you to answer that. I knew it.
I was like, does it tell me? It doesn't say on here. It's just in the right order.
You should just know from memory.
No, I didn't watch this game. That's why I was like surprised. I couldn't. I literally saw the score before we started recording. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, Seahawks lose to the Giants, and I think I called this. I'm not 100% sure. And
you said they would. I said there was no way.
Okay, cool. Yes, fuck yes. I said it last episode. I said the Giants were going to beat the Seahawks. I also said the Washington football team are going to beat the Steelers. So tune in when we preview that game later because I was right about this. So I have some credibility now. You have to listen to me. Giants. Without Daniel Jones, somehow beat the Seahawks. And it's looking like the Giants are going to clinch that coveted NFC East spot.
That's very interesting because what is Saquon Barkley's return timetable?
I don't know.
Because that's very interesting.
I thought he was gone.
I mean, he tore his ACL, but it was in like week 3 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, but do you come back from an ACL tear in the same season?
Depends on the severity. I'm going to say it's probably like a 10% chance. Because even if these guys do make it into the playoffs, if you're the owner and GM, you're not thinking like we have a shot at the title, right?
Yeah, just enjoy the trip.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, but it does look good for you moving forward. I mean, like if you go and you invest in another offensive line piece, maybe in the draft, get a solid O-line for Barkley, keep building. You've got wide receiver pieces. I think like you could be a threat.
If the Giants make the playoffs, is Daniel Jones your guy? And I know he didn't play yesterday, but is Daniel Jones your guy?
I think, yeah, he is. Because rebuild, when you get a new quarterback, you are rebuilding. Unless you grab somebody like Tom Brady or Phillip Rivers, right? You know, like these guys who are established and understand the game of football. When you grab these rookies, even if they're super talented, even if you could guarantee you got Trevor Lawrence next year, you're still in a spot where like, even the Bengals, they got Joe Burrow, and he's a baller. I mean, look how they did even when he was starting. They weren't winning games. I mean, it takes time to get these guys acclimated to the level that they need to play at and on the same page as their coach. So I think if you start getting momentum and rolling like the Giants kind of are, you got to stay with Daniel Jones.
I think so too. I like Daniel Jones. I do.
He's a gunslinger.
He needs to learn how to not turn the ball over and not force balls that end up in picks. But I think that if he figures that out, he actually could be a good quarterback.
Dude, and look, Wayne Gallman, 135 yards. He averaged 8.4 per carry. That's one of those things where like if you just put Barkley in, if you're able to play Barkley in these games, like these are not 17-12. I mean, they're probably like 28-12.
Yeah, exactly. Seahawks defense looking like they did.
Swiss cheese,
baby. Giants win 7. Oh, wait, you want to keep talking?
Well, I was just going to say, Chris Carson was the only saving grace here. I mean, he rushed for 65 yards, sure, but he also caught a couple balls for 45 yards, and he scored the only touchdown for them.
Yep. Giants win 17-12. The Seahawks were 10.5-point favorites. Not even close.
Not even close, baby. Okay, Rams, Cardinals. Holy shit.
I don't know who the Rams are, but you mean the Kings of Fraudland?
No, I'm out.
The Cardinals.
Rams can play football.
No, they're frauds. And it goes back exactly to what I said earlier in the show. Frauds mean that they could be Super Bowl contenders. So if for all you LA fans out there, chill the fuck out and just listen to me. The Rams are not going to win the Super Bowl. They're not.
I cannot believe the Cardinals are like throwing their lead so hard. I mean, like we were thinking Kyler could potentially be an MVP candidate. This motherfucker, he still threw 3 touchdowns.
But it didn't look good. The Cardinals didn't look good. I don't know what the deal is with him, Kyler Murray, and DeAndre Hopkins because they're not on the same page. I don't know.
Dude.
I don't know what it is. I know Jalen Ramsey was covering Hopkins all game. So, I mean, he's a great cornerback. But at the same time, there's something off. If you watch their games, there's something off between Murray and Hopkins.
God, Dan Arnold caught the fucking 2 touchdowns. That's so crazy. I don't know either. Goff completed 37 passes, 351 yards. He had a touchdown. No turnover from Goff.
Nope.
He rushed for a touchdown.
I will say this about the LA Kings of Fraudland. I'll say something. I'll give a compliment. I love watching Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp play. They are so dynamic. Fun to watch. And when they catch the ball, I think I saw this somewhere, they have the most yards after catch than any other duo in football. And they might even both lead the league because once they catch the ball, they're so fucking fast and shifty and speedy that they gain like 10 to 20 yards after the catch. It's crazy.
Right.
It's very fun to watch. Very fun.
Another shout out to the Rams. I love their color rush jerseys. I love the blue and the yellow.
Yeah, I like them too. I do like them. And like the numbering is like there's like some sort of like material. I don't even know what it's like Gore-Tex or something. But I don't know what it is.
No more praise for the Rams. Yeah. They win 38-28.
They were 2.5-point favorites, the Rams. They covered that. Yep. Definitely not frauds of covering the spread. At least for this game.
Patriots Thunderbolts.
Wow. Let me tell you something. I have Joey Sly as my kicker in my shotgun fantasy league.
Good.
I needed to win this week. And I had to pick up another kicker because the Panthers were on a bye.
Yes.
So I just picked up the very first kicker who had the best estimated points.
Who was that?
Was Michael Bagdley.
Oh,
or as he is
Mr.
nicknamed
Bagel.
himself, the Money Bags. And he got me a -2 fantasy points because that fucker missed both of his field goals, and that's it. That's all.
Are you in a
had.
position where you might have to shotgun this week?
Oh no, I actually am in the exact opposite. I have scored the most points in
because of
fantasy
Waller.
in that league because of Waller, because of
Yeah.
Landry, because of Tannehill, because of Aaron Jones. They all got 20-plus points. Darren Waller having a monster 45 points. And get this, I had Corey Davis on the bench. Corey Davis.
Oh, that sucks. I don't blame you for that, though. I mean, you could if you're ever staring down like who's going to have the game, and you got 3 options. Well, really, you have 4 because there's always a chance that Jonnu Smith is going to get 2 touchdowns, even if he doesn't have like a crazy yardage game. But Jonnu's got a chance to go off. AJ Brown and then Derrick Henry. Like Corey Davis is always on the back end there. It's possible, but it's never the guy who you're definitely going to start.
Right. I mean, it was his season high. He obviously had a monster game, but that's not his norm. And even without that, even those 35 points on the bench, I scored like 170 points.
Yep.
So
I don't know. So Cam kind of had a game. It's kind of weird. He only completed 12 passes, but they had him throw less than 20 times. He only threw for 69 yards, but it was a touchdown there.
Did he run a shit ton?
Kind of. They ran him 14 times, only 48 yards, but still he rushed for 2 touchdowns. I mean, it was a vintage like old school Cam Newton game. They pulled Cam and put Jarrett Stidham in just because they were up so high,
45 zip, dude. That is disgusting.
It's a huge blowout.
That's disgusting.
And this is right where the Pats are 6-6. If the Pats win out, I mean they'll be 10-6.
Do you want to know something funny?
What's that?
The Chargers were actually 1.5 point favorites in this game.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
And if they rolled Tyrod Taylor out and they lost this game like this, I would say that Anthony Lynn needs to be done because the culture has never changed there. They don't win playoff games. Like I think it's run its course and they need to do something new. But you're never going to hear that narrative because Justin Herbert is a rookie. And they'll always say, we're playing a rookie quarterback. Come on, give him some time. And I kind of agree with that. It's harder to win games with a rookie quarterback, even if they are playing lights out like Herbert is.
Right.
You kind of get that free pass. But, yeah, Patriots win it 45-0. What was the spread here? You said -1 to the Chargers?
-1.5 Chargers. Favorites.
Okay.
Hilarious.
Eagles-Packers?
Yes. This game was... Okay, the one notable thing from this game is that Jalen Hurts came in for Carson Wentz finally. And it wasn't like one play. It was for the rest of the game.
Yep.
And he threw a touchdown pass. So he didn't look terrible. He looked that was a very nice touchdown pass.
There's also he only completed 5 passes, but 109 yards on those 5 passes. That's pretty good yards per attempt.
I mean, just the fresh perspective. I don't know. Carson Wentz needs to be done, dude. And I keep telling people this. He's not good. And people keep saying, well, the offensive line. Well, he doesn't have, options and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
I watch him almost every week. The dude stays in the pocket longer than a Hot Pocket when you put it in the microwave, which is like a minute and a half. That's when you're supposed to heat up a Hot Pocket.
And then you got to do it again.
Yeah, then you have to do it again, right? Carson Wentz stays in the pocket longer than a Hot Pocket because he doesn't get that throwing the ball away is a smart move. He's just gonna hold it until the very last second and then he gets sacked. It's not all on his offensive line.
I used to be a Carson Wentz apologist. I really did. I'm one of those people that you're talking about. The last 3 weeks, I've really fallen off of that. There are some things you can't excuse if you want to be good at a competitive level in the NFL. And you have to look at your guy after like 5 games. If they don't perform in 5 games, you got to start asking the question. You don't have to bench them after 5 bad games, but after 5 bad games, you really you have to evaluate. You got a new quarterback in Jalen Hurts. I know you just paid Carson Wentz. I understand that, but if you offered to eat some of that contract, I bet you could trade him. There are teams out there who are willing. Like
there are dumb
Carson
teams
Wentz,
out there, like the Bears. Well, the Bears would love Carson Wentz.
Well, and honestly, even the Bengals, and I think this would be smart for the Bengals, if they can get them to eat part of the contract, take Carson Wentz for just the year, like because Joe Burrow is going to be working on getting healthy, right?
Oh, you're talking about next season?
Yeah, next season, yeah. Well, trade deadline, I think, has already happened for the NFL, so you're not going to be able to trade him until after the season anyway. But, like when you're looking at these places where he can go, I mean, I think that trading him might be your only option.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect time. I think the Eagles, I mean, I know it's still a race because the NFC East is so bad. I know that the Eagles are technically still in the hunt for the playoff spot, but just start Jalen Hurts for the rest of the season and see what happens. If you guys somehow win out and are able to get that NFC East playoff spot, then Jalen Hurts is the guy. If Jalen Hurts plays like fucking shit, well then you can regroup after the season. Carson Wentz just isn't your guy. At least not right now. I don't think ever. I really don't think he's a good quarterback. He didn't get you the Super Bowl, so I don't understand why Eagles fans are so like fucking
he did
loyal.
He put
to
them
him.
in a good position that season.
He put them in good position. I don't think they win a Super Bowl with Carson Wentz. I think Nick Foles had that magic touch. I really do. But that's neither here nor there. I just don't think Carson Wentz is a good quarterback anymore.
And I'm out.
He's gotten hurt too many times. And he puts himself in those positions because he's not smart. He's not a smart quarterback. He might be like a passionate quarterback. He might be like, he has a good mentality, right? He's fighting for every yard, blah, blah, blah. He's not a smart quarterback. He takes unnecessary hits. He stays in the pocket too long, which is why he's the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. He's just not smart. IQ, Forrest Gump level. Football IQ, not real IQ. I don't know how real his real IQ is.
Aaron Rodgers, bald, 25 completions, almost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. If anyone's going to, at the current rate, if anyone's going to rival Pat Mahomes for the MVP this year, it will be Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, agreed.
Aaron Rodgers is playing great football. He is laughing, having a good time. He's on a revenge tour after last year. Like
here's the thing too, is that I think him and Matt LaFleur are friends now. They seem buddy. They seem like they're on the same page. I don't know how it happened. I don't know when it happened.
They started winning football games.
I guess so, yeah. They started winning football games. So they're 9-3. So obviously in a great spot to win to make the playoffs. Now here's the big thing: how far in the playoffs are they going to get? Because if they lose in the first round, let's say they even exit out of the second round of the playoffs, I think they might be butting heads again. I don't know. It depends.
It depends
their
how
relationship.
They lose for me.
I think the relationship is based off of how successful the team is. If they do well in the playoffs, I could see that relationship getting better. If they don't do well in the playoffs, I see rocky territory again.
Oh man, what was the spread on that game?
Packers were 8.5-point favorites.
Okay,
so they covered 30-16. Packers. Aaron Jones had a nice little touchdown run.
Yes. He had actually a great run.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. So the Chiefs play the Broncos. They play in Kansas City. This is the Sunday night game. This was actually a very good game to watch. It was interesting to watch. Drew Lock threw fucking 2 picks. He's like Daniel Jones to me. I think he's got swagger and I think he's got talent, but he just turns the ball over all the time.
Yeah.
Did you watch this game? I'm assuming. Right?
I was on. Yes, we talked about this earlier in the show. I was on Reddit though, reading No Sleep.
Yeah, you were on Reddit.
Subreddit. A very spooky story. Do you want me to go over the story again? There's a man in the basement. He takes a step every week.
Le'Veon Bell played, and that bothered me.
Okay, that's one thing that I did want to talk about. Why was Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of the game? Because I saw a lot of people start him this week. So
yeah, okay, so the Chiefs fucked a lot of people.
It wasn't relayed out that Le'Veon Bell was going to be starting.
No, so I made a mistake. This is on me I think if you're an average fantasy player, this is on the community not telling you. I'm a seasoned player, so this one is on me. I should have done better. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been out of practice since Thursday with a stomach bug. He missed Thursday, he missed Friday, and he came back Saturday, not to practice, but he was at practice. He said he was feeling better at the tail end of Saturday. Sunday, he said he was good, and they said that he will be active. But he hadn't practiced in 3 days. I have Le'Veon Bell in almost all leagues where I have Clyde, and I thought I should start Bell because I don't know how much work Clyde is going to have because you missed practice. But I didn't do it because on the off chance, because they said he was active, right? I figured there's no way they would say he was active if they weren't going to play him. But it's smart, it keeps the other team
why
on
even
their toes.
I guess so. Okay.
Well, because you have to announce who's like on your active roster, right? So it's going to come out no matter what.
Right.
So I don't know. I should have played Bell, but I think for a lot of average fantasy players who don't play as much as you or I or other people in some of our leagues, they saw that he was active. They went to play him, and then he got 0 touches.
Yep, that got 0 touches. Le'Veon Bell got most of the touches.
He didn't even play that well, particularly.
Nah, he didn't. I don't think the Chiefs played particularly well, but
no,
I know the Broncos.
Travis Kelce's a monster.
Oh yeah, he stiff arms people like children. He stiff arms people like other defenders like they're little children, and he's playing in the backyard with and he's the older brother that just got back from college. And he's just bigger than everybody, and he's also fatter because he got the freshman 15. That's Travis Kelce on the field.
Collinsworth was talking about this during the game. He said, a lot of these guys think that Kelce's not that fast, which he's not really that fast. He's huge, but he doesn't have burner speed, and they put corners on him all the time. And Collinsworth was like, that's a great idea if they can make the tackle. He's like, there are only a couple corners in the league who I would ever put on Travis Kelce because... if you miss the tackle, he's gone for another 8 yards after catch, like guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Man's a freak.
He is a freak. Best tight end in football right now. Chiefs win 22-16. That's it. That's it.
I do want to talk one thing. Tyreek had kind of a quiet game, but he wouldn't have if they would have challenged that play. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. Okay, yeah, we can talk about
that. I couldn't believe. He didn't even know he caught it, and that's kind of whatever. But
that's the crazy thing, by the way, is that Tyreek just got up and was like, okay, yep, ball hit the ground, whatever. If Tyreek wasn't making a fuss and telling people to challenge the play, then you're probably not going to challenge the play because who would know better than the receiver? Well, it turns out the ball never touched the ground. Tyreek actually caught the ball. Now, here is something we've talked about before in the podcast, Sky Judge. Judges need to be implemented so that they can make the right calls. And if you're saying, well, too bad, sports, blah, 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 this just happens in sports. Sometimes calls are missed. No, that's a touchdown. That's a touchdown, and it should be a touchdown, and the Chiefs should get 6 points because that was a fucking touchdown. I don't care who calls it, but you want the right calls on the right... you want the right calls. Why would you want to take away points when a team clearly got a touchdown?
Because I'm a Broncos fan.
Right, exactly. Because you're selfish. You're fucking not you, but I'm talking about
it should not fall... No, I agree. It should not fall on the Chiefs to have to challenge that play. And they're like, well, if you're right, you get the timeout back. And everything's like, I don't give a fuck. Honestly, how would you feel about this? They implement the Sky Judge, but teams lose a challenge. So you only get one challenge game instead of 2.
No, just have the Sky Judge up in the sky.
Well, I'm just saying they're going to need
that whole risk. I don't even like the whole risk of a timeout. I don't, because sometimes. I don't. No. I don't like.
You have to though, because otherwise you're just gonna have people just challenging shit.
No, not if you take away challenging. No, not if you take away challenging, because the Sky
if you
Judge,
take it away completely.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's no need for challenges when you have someone like a Sky Judge who can literally oversee everything and see all the angles that coaches can't see on the field. Because the coaches, they usually have a scout up in the booth that's looking at the same plays that we're seeing on TV. That's why they sometimes have to wait and get a call from their booth guy, and then that's when they throw the flag.
Yeah, but there's even with the Sky Judge, some things will be missed. It's such a high-paced game, and unless we are unless we're willing to stop every play for them to make sure they've checked every angle, we're still going to miss stuff even with a sky judge. We'll miss less, but we still will miss stuff. That's why I like a challenge.
That's okay, because that's okay if they miss less as long as the right calls are getting called more often.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Very obvious plays because chances are that the plays that are going to get missed are plays that we'll never know the actual truth about, because a camera angle is being blocked by a player. You can't see where the football is. It's way too, those are the plays that are probably going to be missed. And that's okay, because it's like, whatever, like we don't actually have 100% certainty that we got the call right or wrong. When you see evidence like that Tyreek Hill catch where you saw the play through its entirety and you saw that the ball did not touch the ground and that it actually was a catch, those are the type of plays that need to be overturned by a sky judge.
Yeah. What was the spread on this game?
Chiefs had a monster spread. They had a 13.5 spread, and of course they did not cover, but they won 22-16.
Okay, so we got 3 games to preview.
3 games. Holy shit. First one.
Yeah.
Ooh, 4:00 game. Washington football team versus the Steelers.
What's the spread on here? Do you happen to have that up, or should
I do? No, I do. I'm your spreads guy for today. Call me Spread 'em. Spread 'em. It's all one word, by the way. My mom named me Spread 'em. Just one. Yep, Spread 'em. Okay, so the Steelers are 6.5-point favorites. I don't care. I have the Washington football team winning this game.
Yeah, you're insane.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Did you know? So you know that if you had to guess who the number 1 defense in the league was, who would you guess?
The Steelers.
Do you know who the number 2 defense in the league is?
The Colts.
It's the Washington football team.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They have a nasty front 7. But anyway, I was just curious. That's why I know. Surprising. I just read that right now. That's why I was.
They're 4-7. How good is their defense?
Well, I mean, they've won like 3 in a row, though, haven't they, or something like that? What does their record look like?
I mean, I just remember them kicking the Cowboys' ass for Thanksgiving. So, I mean, is that the last time they played? Wow, they have if that's the last time they played, they've had a nice long break.
What's the over/under for this game, if you don't mind me asking?
I do mind you asking, because it's a 43.5 no man's land over/under. So I mean,
I was gonna say, if it's in the 50s, I'm taking the under, like 100%.
Yeah, I don't think with either of these defenses. Now that I know the Washington football team's the number 2, it's not a surprise that it's low. But 43.5. I mean, who fucking cares? It's a coin toss. But I have the football team covering and upsetting at plus 245.
Oh, did we want to shotgun bet this? Did we say yes or no?
No, I said absolutely not. I'm not shotgunning bet over the Washington football team.
No, I remember. I just wanted to double check and make sure that you said that again.
Yes, no. I will not be trapped into a silly shotgun bet. Now, if you want to bet me the Ravens versus Cowboys, I will happily shotgun bet that with you.
Not. Was Lamar playing?
Lamar is playing. Supposedly.
I know. Mark Andrews is not.
He's not. But
I mean, I all prayers for Mark Andrews. I mean, he's got diabetes. I mean, if he really should. If he doesn't feel safe, he really should not play.
Right. But I'm pretty sure Lamar's definitely been cleared to play. I think as long as he feels good, he should be playing on Tuesday.
And you guys will get Dobbins and Ingram back as well.
Yes, that's why I feel confident about the shotgun bet.
But before we go to that game, let's talk about Bills Niners. That is tonight at 7:15.
Yep, we have the Bills -1, so 1-point favorites.
I'm gonna take the Bills to win it.
I think that's a steal. I don't know. I know the 49ers can win a game, but they're still 5-6. I don't think they have Jimmy G yet. Do they have Jimmy G? When is Jimmy G coming back?
I think he's out for the season. I mean, I think they said he was out indefinitely, meaning that he could come back at any time depending on when he feels better. But if they're not in a position to win, they might not bring him back at all. They don't have Kittle, they don't have Bosa. They're, you know what I mean?
Right. So, I think this is a steal. I think fuck the spread. Take it's practically even odds for the Bills to win the game, just outright. So take the Bills. Over under, just because you didn't ask. 47.5. No man's land. I don't even know why I brought that up.
Give me the over.
I'm mad.
I'd take the over.
I don't care. I don't care.
I'm over
Doesn't
in it.
matter.
Okay. We got Cowboys Ravens.
Okay, here's the thing, Andrew. The Ravens need to win out for the playoffs. They have to. We are in a deep hole right now. I think our playoff odds are hovering around 50-50, 50% chance of making it, but that's only because we have the easiest schedule going forward for the rest of the season, which means we have to win out. We have to win out. And
What is your schedule? You play Cowboys and then
play the Cowboys, we play the Bengals, we play the Browns.
God.
Yeah, and I think we play the Jets. I don't know. We did it. We keep looking this up every fucking week, but
basically, we don't have to do it. But
the Browns are the only
threat
winning team.
anyway.
Well, yeah, they're the only winning team that we're playing, like with a winning record.
Will you shotgun bet that game?
I don't know.
We'll talk about it after the Cowboys.
That sounds
game.
like Week 4 territory that I don't want to.
You don't want to encroach on. What was the spread on this game?
-8.5 for the Ravens.
I think okay.
That is very big. That's very big. In fact, I don't know. Honestly, I would take the Cowboys to cover. I just want to win the game. I don't care by how much.
You don't care how it looks. You're like, just win it.
Nope. This has to be a win. I don't care.
It's in Baltimore too, which is good.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't know how much COVID home team advantage is this
It's
season.
nice to sleep in your own bed and like to drive to work like that. You know what I mean?
True.
You don't have to travel. True. That's a big enough advantage to me that I like to still mention it.
Yep.
I might take the Cowboys to cover and then Ravens to win it.
Yeah, I think so too. I would. Yep. And you know what? Just fantasy wise, the best scenario.
Fuck.
I need Zeke to score some points. I need Zeke to sack up and actually score some points this week. Not 2.9 or whatever because you fumbled and only got 40 something yards. I need a solid week from you, Zeke, against my team. That's okay as long as the Ravens win.
We fucked up.
Why did we fuck up?
We didn't predict scores for the 2 Monday night games tonight.
Well, the beauty of that is that the podcast isn't over. So
That's true.
Let's go back. And honestly, if we're really critiquing ourselves, we should have saved the Tuesday game, Cowboys Ravens preview for tonight after we record.
Cut the whole thing. We'll do it over. Cut it down.
And we also have to preview the Thursday night game, Patriots versus LA Kings of Fraudland, which we'll do tonight after we record, after the doubleheader.
Right, I'm going to take we'll start Washington football team and the Steelers. I'm going to take the Washington football team at 17. Washington football team 17, Steelers 24.
Okay. Kind of close. Steelers still covering that scenario.
They do.
I have the Washington football team 23. Washington football team 23, Steelers 20.
Ooh, field goal win.
Yeah, I think, Well, two big defenses, number 1 and number 2 in the league.
Yeah, that's what got me going from my original.
Again, I am the best at this. I was only 1 point off that one time.
I'm gonna run after the end of the season. I'm gonna run all these back. I'll make sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure you will, Andrew. I'm sure you're gonna take the time to do that. Now for the Bills, I have the Bills going off tonight. 35 points from the Bills, 35-21.
Ooh, that's pretty close. I was gonna say something like 32, 31. Let's say 32 for the Bills, and let's say 28 for the 49ers. High scoring affair.
Ooh, field goal game.
Field goal game. Over under 3.5 field goals.
Under. Whoa. Okay.
All right.
So, whoosh. Welcome. Wait.
Yep.
This is
sure. Welcome.
Welcome to
back
to the second part of our podcast.
We've never done that before. It's okay. Things are crazy. The Washington football team destroyed. I'm gonna say they destroyed the Steelers.
Well, Andrew, if only there was someone who predicted that from the very beginning, from the very first time we talked about this matchup. Oh, wait, I did. Last podcast, now this podcast, and I even predicted how many points they would score. The Washington football team, I said they would score 23. I did predict the Steelers to score 20, so I thought it was going to be closer.
You were very close.
I thought it was going to be closer, but final score 23.
Congratulations.
I mean, I fucking nailed that. I nailed that without actually nailing it.
Now, as long as we're talking about things that we predicted, do you remember before the season when I said Washington will be a lot better than what people are going to give them credit for?
That is such a vague goal. Like
no. Because we talked about who would finish where in this division, and I had them at 2. Just so you're aware.
Okay, so they're at 4 wins, right?
No, they're at 6. They're at 5 wins now, but
5 wins,
which is tied for first place.
Tied for first with the Giants.
Behind the Giants.
Yeah. Okay.
I
don't
listen.
Look, that is a very vague thing to be like. They're going to be better than what people think they're going to be. Did people really? I mean, a 5-win team, sure. The only reason why
they were so bad last year. They were atrocious last year.
What was their record last year? I can't even remember.
I remember. I do remember that I was disgusted every single time I had to watch a football game, though. They were in.
But how funny would it be? How funny would it be if they just finished with the same record? And the only reason why it seems like they did better this year is because everybody else in the NFC East just is terrible this season. So it's like, oh, they finished second. Look, and then you look, and it's the exact same record they had last year.
As long as they finish second.
Sure.
Although I do have to say, like in this game, good for Washington. Good win. Like, yes, you got to grind them out. And it's a win at Heinz Field. Like, I definitely did not see it coming. But there were so many dropped passes by the Steelers. Like, just so. Ebron has 7 dropped passes in the last 2 weeks.
Yep. Claypool dropped a pass. Ebron dropped a pass.
I think Johnson dropped like 2.
Yeah, Johnson dropped 1. I mean, yeah, they didn't look great. And you know what?
McFarland dropped 1.
They didn't look great against the Ravens either, the Ravens practice squad. So, I mean,
they also haven't really had a bye. So, I mean, like, and this sucks. No, seriously, that seriously is important because they have a 5-game turnaround before they play next. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
yeah, they do because what is tonight? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, they have 5 days and they play on Sunday.
Okay, Andrew. Now, would you rather have? I'm just speaking as a fan of a team. So let's say you're Carolina Panthers. Would you rather have your team have a cakewalk schedule the entire season or have a bye?
That's tough. It depends how good your team is, right? Because if I have a good team, give me cakewalk schedule because momentum is important in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree.
But if you're not that great of a team and you need to stretch, especially depending on because a cakewalk schedule is usually like 4 or 5 easy teams and then like average teams and maybe 1 good team. I mean, you're never going to have a schedule where everyone's bad. You're going to have to play a team eventually in the season because it's 16 fucking weeks. So, I mean, it depends like if your bye is going to be before your toughest game or like if it's going to be before a cupcake also. It's like, I don't know how much. I mean, it's nice to get the rest, but I think I would take the cupcake schedule.
Right. So that is kind of what I would too, just for the record.
Right.
I would rather have the
again,
records have a cakewalk schedule than to not have a bye or than to have a bye.
Again, though, that's not how it's typically done. I mean, everyone has a bye. I mean, it's like maybe I would rather have that, but I'm also not doing it. So I'm not playing in those games. Your body gets the shit beat out of it every single day.
Right. And I know what you're about to say. It's because they had the mentality of playing. So they didn't
they went to work and practice. That's another big thing. They went to work and played physical contact football because they thought they had a game.
Sure. But it's not the same as playing 17 or 16 weeks straight in that hypothetical.
Well, no, it's not. But again, it's like their vacation. It's like it's their 1 week of vacation. Think about like we have, our 9 to 5s or whatever, but like we can schedule out our vacation time. Like that was their scheduled vacation time. Then they didn't get it,
Here is just because we're talking about cakewalk schedule. Here are the Steelers who they played this season: Giants, Broncos, Texans, Eagles, Browns, obviously divisional, Titans, Ravens divisional, Cowboys, Bengals divisional, Jaguars, Ravens again divisional. Now they lose to the Washington football team.
Mm-hmm. So that's 4 tough teams.
I would say 3.
Well, 4 tough games, 3 tough teams.
Yes, the Ravens, the Browns, the Titans. Those are your hardest opponents. They didn't have to play the Chiefs. They didn't have to play the Colts. I think that I would much rather have a cakewalk schedule and be 11-1 than not have a bye.
Now, the Chiefs are super happy about this fucking game because now they have a chance to get the 1 seed.
Yes, correct. Absolutely. They're probably, and I'm going to look real quick again because I'm already up on their schedule. They play the Bills next. That's not going to be an easy game. In fact, I bet I would have the Bills beating the Steelers. Then they play the Bengals, divisional. Okay, here's the Colts game. So they do play the Colts. And then the Browns again, divisional. So the latter, I could see them dropping 2 of those games, the Bills and either the Colts or the Browns. But they're still going to finish with.
They'll make the playoffs without a doubt.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they're even looking at like a 13-3 record, worst case,
right? And
because they're not losing to the Bengals,
right? But again, this is where you start like. Cakewalk schedule, you're like 11 and whatever, but now you're going to start, this tail end of their schedule is tougher. Browns, Colts, it's just, you haven't had a bye now, And again, like I said, you have a quick turnaround here today.
Fuck the Steelers, though. Fuck the Steelers.
Let's talk about some stats. Big Ben, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick. They did not run the ball effectively at all. Like it looks like they're missing James Conner a lot. They had, 21 ground yards?
Yeah. James Conner should be back next week.
Yep.
In that little COVID protocol, which is good because I won officially tonight. I won in one of my fantasy leagues, our office fantasy league, Andrew. I won, which is, I didn't know this going into it, but I got 10 additional points right off the bat for being the lower seeded team.
That doesn't make any sense.
I've never seen that before.
I want to talk to the man who started that up.
I've never seen that before. In fact, I was so confused on why I had 10 additional points. I was doing the math. I was like, yo, is this what's going on? Like, is ESPN app glitching? And then I went to the playoff rules and it said home team advantage, 10 points.
Right.
So now here's the thing, Andrew, for this. I still have Zeke left to play, right? And I'm up maybe 4 points. Now, do I just not play Zeke tomorrow? Do I just sit him out?
I would. Unless there are some leagues that require that you fill a roster spot, though, that you can't leave anything empty or you take like penalties. But I don't think that league is. I don't think our commissioner has anything set for that, right?
That's definitely not a thing in our league.
Okay.
And if it's part of the strategy, I can understand people not paying attention. So you want to penalize people who aren't obviously like paying attention to fantasy because obviously that's how people, that a person who doesn't pay attention to their fantasy team can ruin a fantasy league depending on the matchup, right? So that's why you want to incentivize or even punish people that who forget to switch out their players on a bye, forget to switch out injured players. But if you are intentionally, strategically not playing defenses that can get negative points, not, starting a running back who has had a trouble fumbling the ball recently, I think that's fair game.
In my opinion, like these are rules that have to be set at the beginning of the year. So I try to make sure that you got league mates who are going to set their lineup so you don't have to worry about the punishment aspect, because I do think that's a legitimate strategy. But, you get office leagues and stuff where you're going to get people making playoffs because somebody didn't start like half their fucking roster who's on bye. And that's where it's like, so you start at the beginning of the year and you state you got to start a full roster. If you don't, you get penalized. And then you have to unfortunately run it for the whole year.
I'm going to play Zeke just because, but just want to.
He has he scored negative this year?
No, but he's gotten very close because in his last game, he scored 2.9 points because he fumbled the ball. So if he fumbled twice, I mean, you're looking at, not negative, but close to negative. And let's say first play of the drive, fumble, injured, out of the game, whatever, benched for Pollard. I don't care. If I don't play him, I win no matter what.
I like it.
Okay.
I mean, again, there's no rule for it. That's what I was saying. If there's some leagues that have rules for it. That's all I was saying. Yeah, and the other big news: Antonio Gibson got hurt. He ran the ball twice and then left the game. Turf toe is what was diagnosed.
That sucks. A lot of people had him starting. I mean, he put up a monster number last game on Thanksgiving.
And plus, it's week 13. Playoffs for a lot of leagues start next week. So I mean, that sucks.
Yeah, no, I know. It sucks big time.
It sucks, Ian. Okay. Well, tell me the score of that game.
The score was the Washington football team 23, which I predicted.
Yes.
Steelers 17. I was 3 off.
God, I love when the games wrap up early and we can talk at 10:30 because I'm not fucking tired.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
Okay, Bills, Niners.
I mean, this game, I was okay. Also very close. I said 35-21. So, I mean, I was 1 off for the Bills and a couple, 3 off for the 49ers. But still, I mean, that's pretty. I picked the right team. Yeah. I picked the right, almost the right spread. I'm really good at this.
I was close on this one as well, but not as close. I had 31-28 Bills winning. So I was off by a total of 7 points.
You suck.
Nick Mullins, if he didn't throw those 2 interceptions, maybe that game's different. But, I mean, he threw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Niners did what they normally do. I mean, they spread the ball, 40 rush yards for Wilson, 42 for Mostert. Brandon Ayuk is good.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. So is Deebo Samuel.
Yeah,
he did drop. He dropped the pass, but go Cox. He's a Gamecock, and he always looks good out there. He runs the. He's like a running back playing wide receiver. Someone said that tonight.
One of my favorite players in the entire NFL, Kyle Juszczyk.
Yes,
he's a badass. He scored.
Scored in the Super Bowl.
He scored twice in the Super Bowl.
Scored twice.
And there was a line on that I almost bet on, which would have netted me so much money. But obviously, as I was sitting there looking at it, I'm like, I can't fucking bet this. Not responsibly.
You should have.
I know we talked about it during the game. I was like, he scored his first one, and I told everyone in the room, I'm like, I almost bet on that, man. Glad I didn't, because there's no way he's doing that again. And he fucking scored.
Yep.
Okay. Bills, though, Josh Allen. Jimmy G's been out.
He looked good in the stands. With his old mask.
Yeah, he looked beautiful.
He looked
Jimmy Handsome?
like he looked like he wanted to be anywhere else in the world but in that stadium. He looked so bored. He probably is. He never had his phone out either.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you get yelled at by the coaches, right? Watch the game.
I don't know.
Learn something.
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, he's been out for 6 weeks. I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs. He's probably just whatever. He got paid too. He doesn't give a fuck.
Bills look good though.
Josh Allen, 32 completions, 375 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Cole Beasley.
Let's go. Dude, Zach Moss fumbled that fucking ball though on 2.
Yes.
What a great draft pick.
But Cole Beasley went off.
Stephon Diggs went off too. I mean, he didn't have a touchdown, but
Stephon Diggs went off. He is officially over 1,000 yards
Josh for this Allen season. Twice.
Did he fumble twice? Maybe.
Oh, okay. I know he fumbled once. They're counting the Zach Moss fumble against him because technically Zach Moss bumped it, but Josh Allen was the one who had possession, which means that it has to count as a Josh Allen fumble.
Suck it, Josh Allen. Suck it. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the Bills look great. What are they? 9-3 now. So
yep, 9-3.
They're gonna make the playoffs.
Patriots look good now. 45-0.
It doesn't matter. They're going to win that division, and they're gonna make the playoffs. Now, here's the thing: how far do they get in the playoffs? Like these teams,
depends who they play, right?
Yes, true. But these teams like the Bills and the Browns that are both 9-3, that great records.
I think the Bills are better than the Browns
for sure, 100%. But they're not great teams. Like they're good teams. They have a great record. Don't get me wrong, great record. Good teams that have great records. I just don't think they're gonna make it far in the playoffs.
Well, I was on the Bills in this offseason. I really thought the Bills had they have a great young head coach, or new head coach, I should say, anyway, for them. They've got a wonderful defense set up to play a lot of teams in their division, and they just play good defense in general, typically. Josh Allen really came out of his shell to play the quarterback they drafted. I just didn't think they were going to be like this year. I thought we were going to see them be like 7-9, 8-8, and be like, okay, the Bills next year are gonna be it, But
right.
It happened this year, so they're ahead of schedule. I don't know if they'll go far in the playoffs, but I think the Bills could be a sleeper team.
I mean, a sleeper team in the playoffs? No.
They can make a deep run. I do believe that. I think Josh Allen's got the swagger for it.
I don't think so, but I mean, hey, I am currently locking in a bet on DraftKings. Do you want to guess?
Now what's that?
It's on tomorrow night.
Okay. Is it the Lamar bet?
It is the Lamar bet.
Yeah, I knew it. I saw that on DraftKings. You want to tell the people about it?
So there's a no-brainer bet on DraftKings. They do this every once in a while just to get everyone hard for a little bit and then be like, hey, look, here's a little bit of money. And then before they take your entire bank account. But the bet is for Lamar to complete a pass. Normally, the odds are minus 10,000 because, I mean, Lamar will complete a pass tomorrow. That's why it's a no-brainer bet.
I don't know. Mark Andrews isn't out there.
Shut the fuck up. It's been boosted to even odds, plus 100. So obviously, whatever you bet.
What's their minimum, or their maximum that you're allowed to bet? 25.
Yeah, it's 25. That's normally what they do. Yeah. So that's exactly what I just put on the. I mean, it's free money. Hey,
free money.
Andrew,
yeah, I'll take it.
Free money plus free money equals
a Ravens win.
Yeah, free money. That's a trademark. That's a B3T Sports Bet Bath Beyond trademark. Both of them.
Do you want to preview the Tuesday game?
Yes, the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson will be playing on Tuesday night. Sorry, Trace McSorley. -8 point favorites.
That's a big spread.
We talked about this earlier.
I think I'm going to take the Ravens to win it, and I'm going to take the Cowboys to cover.
Very good. That's exactly what we talked about this morning
in
our first part of the podcast. So glad that nothing's changed. I also will take the Cowboys to cover. No, fuck it. Nope. No. Almost had me. Ravens will cover. Ravens will destroy the Cowboys. The Ravens will cover that 8-point spread. I'm not even fucking worried about it. Honestly, I might do an alt spread. I might do 16 points.
You're an idiot.
I might do 16 points.
Please do it. Just do it. Do it.
Let's see.
Do it. Take a picture of it.
I might.
It's when you were like going to take the Cowboys to cover the spread or whatever, and then you said no. You reminded me of the Ravens guy when he does the RAVENS, and then everyone's not loud enough, and he shakes his head and he throws his shirt on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
RAV.
We're going to destroy the Cowboys tomorrow. Lamar's back. He had the cocoa, and he fucking is ready to raise hell. We have to win out just to make the goddamn playoffs this year. And guess who's first up in the shooting squad? The shooting squad. That's the Cowboys.
Okay. Well, did you check that alt spread?
No, I can't find it.
I'm upset. Okay. Anyway, that's it.
I mean, I can't.
That's the whole show.
I can't find it. No, I found it. Ravens -16 is plus 255. That's not.
That is not good. Don't do that.
I'm not. But we have to
preview the Patriots and the. Oh, yeah, we can give our predictions for that.
Yeah, that's what we do, Andrew.
Okay,
I'll go first. I'll go first. Ravens 42, Cowboys 10.
Okay, I'm gonna go Cowboys.
Look, I'm putting my reputation on the line. I'm
That's
very
fine.
good at this now, so I wouldn't.
You are
just,
the best.
I wouldn't just say this if I
No,
didn't
of
actually
course not.
think it. Ravens 42, Cowboys 10.
I gave the Cowboys 23, Ravens 28.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. But yeah, no, it's going to be a
You want-
bloodbath.
You want to talk Patriots against the other LA team?
Yes, the Kings of Fraudland, Thursday night game. If the
If the Patriots beat them 45-0, then what? Do the Patriots win the Super Bowl?
No, but well, the LA Kings of Fraudland are 5.5-point favorites against the Patriots. Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots. Frauds.
No, I'm going to take the Rams to win and cover.
Nope. Patriots.
Cam's going to get one fucking look at Aaron Donald, and it's not going to be good. I promise you.
They got Stidham. It's okay.
I really am going to take the Rams because
I'm not predicting this game. I'm not going to do a score prediction on this game.
We have to do a score prediction for this game.
No, do we?
Yeah. Why wouldn't we?
Do we do score predictions that often? Do we do them for Thursday night games?
We do them for every primetime game.
We definitely don't do them for Sunday night games. And now I'm trying to
don't because
think.
we don't because it's because we don't record on Sunday. We record on Monday and we record on. I guess we record on Thursday, so we'll do it on Thursday.
Oh yeah, we do.
You
we
idiot.
record before the game and then after the game.
Grapefruit time.
Let's go.
Normally, you can only get this technique in one of my classes, but I wanted to share this with you because I believe every man should get grapefruited. When you grapefruit your man, it's going to feel as if you are giving him head and fucking him at the same time.
Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling.
Valentino Summers and Wave Runners. Chains on my niggas like slave runners. Drug dealers anonymous. Valentino Summers and Wave Runners. Chains on my niggas like slave runners. Drug dealers anonymous. How many Madonnas can that Mazda fit? My brick talk is more than obvious. It's ominous. Garage is the phantom. Ghouls, ghosts, and goblins. Blonde mohawk the collection. I'm Dennis Rodman.
No better feeling would he ever get than being grapefruited. No better feeling would he ever get than
Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling.
Time to hit the showers because baths are for babies.